Never mind. Hated that. Do it again. So hello and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee mug is a kitty. We found it. We located it at Kroger. Got a little nose. He's got little pointy ears. The handle is the tail. He's got markings for the back of the head. It's so cute. We found it this week when we were going grocery shopping. Kroger has a very small section. They've put in some new mugs. This one actually was on sale, on discount, I believe. There were several of them that were on discount. So took this one and one other one that you'll see another time. Anyway, in our kitty cat coffee mug, which my daughter picked because I told her I was going to be telling you guys about things that I'm playing with. So she assumed short video, also playing cat, makes sense. Anyway, in our cat mug is the Organic India Tulsi Honey Chamomile. This is again from our Sips By box that you guys didn't get to see open. Couldn't remember if I needed to double bag the Organic Indias. We'll find out. I tend to like the honey chamomiles that I've tried in the past. I tend to like most of their Tulsi, most of theirs are Tulsi, and I tend to like those. Hopefully the combination is really good together. It has just started steeping like 2 minutes ago. So I'm going to go ahead and give her a sip, and then we will get started. It smells nice. Okay, right now I'm getting mostly my sugar, but I am getting, actually, I think it's also the honey. Getting some nice flavor in there. This is one I think I would have to try to remember. Do not need as much sugar because the honey and the sugar that I've used are making it a little on the ultra sweet side. Not that I mind ultra sweets, as my family will tell you I'm definitely a sweets girl. Anyway, as I mentioned, I'm going to be talking about new or newish stuff, with a couple exceptions actually, that I am playing with. This is going to hopefully replace, indie brand openings. So it's probably not going to be a regular monthly series, unfortunately, because I'm not sure how much new stuff that I'm going to be getting. However, I still do have a bunch of palettes and stuff in my little box, my little drawer that you guys see me take stuff I haven't used yet. So there's still some stuff in there, and we might see some things. And we will talk. I will get to be able to use them a little bit, and then I will bring them up, especially if there are things that I'm continuing to use quite frequently, rather than tried it once, threw it back in the drawer because I got frustrated with it or whatever. So I've got, as you would guess, I've got a lot of palettes. We will start with the palettes, and we'll start with my newest acquisition. This is the ColourPop Lush palette. Lush Life. Life is down there. There's a green look that I posted photos of that I did this with, and ColourPop is hit or miss. This one is definitely very much a hit. I like the fact that even some of these neutrals are in the oranges, and this one's a very dark brown, so they will show up on my skin. I have more issues with this, and sometimes this, than anything else. The color story is otherwise, it's really beautiful. It's very well reflected on the cover, as you can see. The only thing you're kind of missing in here is a white, and honestly, you probably don't need it. And it hails back to their old ColourPop quality. You can see some beautiful colors. Let me get those greens and that blue in the middle. But yes, it definitely is closer to the old quality that we were used to seeing before the pandemic hit, and it seemed like all they were doing is throwing things against the wall. This is the only palette that I'm playing with right now. Look at that. Just look at that. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's very well done. And I love the color story, and I really love this bright limey green. It's just gorgeous. So like I said, usual, that's a damp cloth, usual color pop quality where things, or the old color pop quality where things are staying on your skin and working well. And I've really been enjoying it. I've been reaching for it a bit more than I expected I would since I've gotten it. So I do recommend this. It's not very expensive. It's along the lines of their other 12-pan palettes that are like this. No mirror as usual, but I don't mind. I have tons of palettes with mirror, so it's not a big deal. Really, really enjoy it if you like these kind of colors. Or if you don't, if you want to work with these neutrals and try to start playing with actual color, you could use these neutrals and then use one of these more colorful shades somewhere. And I think it's a good palette for that, because the neutrals, while they are not, say, a bunch of browns, they are neutral enough that you could get away with them as neutrals. So it's a really, really nice palette. Really am enjoying it, and I think some of you would too. In fact, I know I have some ColourPop stands in my group, in my subs, amongst my dragynettes. Anyway, another palette that I have, and I've got to say, this is the first one of Midas Cosmetics, and wow. Wow, I want more. I want more. I want more and more. This is their Perception palette. These are gorgeous. I've enjoyed playing with this. Today I used these two purples up in the top part of my lid. Yeah, I think that's it. I used like 5 palettes today, so most of them are 1, maybe 2 shades. So you can't do more than that. 10 shades across the lid would be a bit much even for me. But yeah, I've really, really enjoyed playing with this a little bit, and I'm going to be playing with it some more. It is a beautiful palette. The mattes are very buttery and smooth. Look at that pink. Look at that. They're gorgeous. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. I'm only trying to give you a few of these. Let me see if I can find some others. Yellows are always a big deal for me. Let's get this one up here that I've played with already as well. And one more. And look at you, neighbor. Like I said, the mattes are just astonishing to me. Look at that. Look at that. Now, I do believe this is a pricier brand. Everything will be listed down below with the prices, assuming they're still available. I think this is still available because it says Midas Cosmetics collabed with the Basic Bee on this. So hopefully it's still available. It's a beautiful, beautiful palette. I really, really enjoy it. Have been enjoying it. First couple of days I had it, I wouldn't play with anything else. It does seem to have some staying issues, but you know what? Neither ColourPop nor this one really stands up to my eyes. As you all know, the inner corner of my eyes tends to weep away or disappear inner corner color, so that is not a detriment to me. That's 90% of palettes that I get. There's only like Violet Voss that I have no problems with, or I have very few problems with, and even with that I can have problems. I am finding some ways to work around that and to sort of make that less of a problem, but it's not something that I seem to be able to make go away completely, unfortunately. But again, another palette that if you're into the bright colors and things, highly recommend. It's a beautiful palette, and it has enough neutral shades to work with, I think. Because you can use like these browns, this brown, this sort of orangey brown, this light brown, to balance out any color if you're afraid of color. So it's another beautiful palette. Really, really highly recommend it. Next, I'm also playing with, and I do believe my daughter got this for me. This is the Prince Let's Go Crazy palette. There were 2 palettes, and the first palette was not very Prince-like to me. It's in the same shape. I do believe it has the thing on it, but the color story inside was just what? And the other additions in the collection, this is from Urban Decay, Prince. The other things in the collection just didn't nothing in that collection really screamed Prince. This came out the closest, and I initially wanted it because of I just adore Prince. I love his music, and I love his artistry, and so I just really wanted it for that. But the palette itself is actually okay. It's got a mirror on one end. It's got this on the other side. The color story really fits with all the purples and blue, and then the nice pink here. To me, that's very Prince. Then you've got this nice neutral shade that you can use in your crease as a transition shade. I don't do that. I just throw colors in. I don't call them transition shades. I just do. But you can use that as a transition shade. This white, I thought, would be very shimmery, and it's not really. And as you can see, it doesn't have, it's not as pigmented as, say, the Perception palette. I will say that this particular palette, so here's the thing. When Urban Decay, before Urban Decay got sold to L'Oreal, I thought they had some decent formulas, and they were a really good brand, and had decent pigmentation, and I really loved them. I was a fan. And then they were bought by L'Oreal shortly after I started following them. But of course, when a company is bought, it takes a little time for the things that were planned to get through on the production part. So a lot of what L'Oreal was doing initially was with their old plans. And then when the L'Oreal stuff really hit, yeah, no. No. The quality went way down. It got dusty. It got less pigmented. And this particular palette, I was kind of surprised that the Prince Estate went with Urban Decay. Kind of get it. The original owners, Prince would be right up their alley. It's that kind of edgy kind of thing, and Prince was very edgy. So it made sense. But since L'Oreal, the quality of the shadows have just to me, have just died, I guess. They are just not as good. They're not as pigmented. They're not as long lasting. A lot of the color stories they come out with are very boring. They're not edgy. They're none of the things that Urban Decay started off as, unfortunately. And I sort of fell out of love. Like I said, I picked this up as a fan. This actually falls somewhere in the middle of that dusty drugstore-ish and the old quality. It's closer to the drugstore-ish. Let's be honest. It's closer to the drugstore-ish. It's not bad, but it isn't as good as the original quality of their stuff. So, it's still available. I would recommend waiting till it's on sale and picking it up then, because as much as it's better than what's been coming out from Urban Decay, it's still not the best. And their palettes are not cheap. I mean, $54 for most of them. I can't remember. I think this one was $50. And if you look there, see, there's nothing left. So it doesn't have the same quality and stay to it as the old shadows used to have. I still have my Urban palette. I love this palette, and I can't replace this palette. I'm finally hitting pan on a thing or two, and but this is the old Urban palette, and this thing is gorgeous, and I love it. And I am very disappointed that it's going to be out of my collection soon, because A, it's getting old, and B, it cannot be replaced. But there, you can even see, even in that lighter color, well, that pink didn't come up. That's very well. Reminder, these are old. But you can kind of see with that blue and that purple, the difference that there was between the two. And there's still a little bit of in the blue. It's not a lot, but it was there. So, yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in the fact that it's, I should say, with this particular palette, with the Prince palette, I was pleasantly surprised. I was expecting old, ashy. It wasn't going to be very... the Game of Thrones ones I have. I love the game of having it because it is something that I enjoy. But honestly, the quality of the shadows weren't that good. So that's what I was expecting for this one too. I am happy that it's a little better than it's been. Next, this is one that I opened on the channel. This is the Makeup for Melanin Girls. This is their Power Palette. I love this cover. I haven't played with this much, and as I open it up, I'm sure some of you will figure it out. It's very, very neutral. And from the pictures, I expected this to be a little brighter. Yeah, so it just didn't quite meet my expectations from the photos I saw. However, I am wearing this gold on my lid about 2/3 of the way through. I did put a pop of another palette across the middle with the gold because this one is a darker gold and the other gold is much brighter when you see it. This one does have a lot of neutrals, but the colors are fun and they seem to stay fairly true to what's in the palette. They're a decent quality. So they're not a bad quality at all. They really do have some pigmentation. I did have to do quite a bit of stamping with the gold on this, but that's no surprise because of my inner corners. And the blue in here, I believe I used this blue on the outside, and it did actually melt in really well with another purple and make a beautiful combination that I'm not sure if you guys can see it. But yes, used the gold and the blue from this. I used a couple of purples from this one from underneath. For underneath, I used this one underneath, and I used this one underneath, and then I also used this on the outer corners. So that's what I used in there. And like I said, I used that gold and that blue from this one. And another one that I would recommend that I'm the only struggle, like I said, I'm having with it is that it is so neutral. It's sometimes hard for me to use a whole lot of the colors, but I am working on playing with it. So I want to play with it. I bought it. I want to play with it. It doesn't have much staying power either, but you know, I'm not expecting 90% of palettes to have a lot of staying power. Last in my palettes is one that I've been using quite frequently. I've been enjoying this a lot. And I think I unboxed this, or at least revealed it on the channel before we went down. Whatever. That's the Prideful palette by Lorella. You know what? I don't think you guys have seen it. I think that's one of the videos that ended up getting tanked because my computer crashed. Okay, so we will go through the story again. This is the Prideful by Lorella, and the only reason this came to my attention is because there was a fuss over this pink shade right here, because it's called LGBTQ plus instead of LGBTQ. I don't see the reason for the fuss, honestly. So they switched 2 letters where the letter is in the acronym or in the thing does not indicate how important you are to the umbrella of the community. Everything that's supposed to be there is there. They're just 2 letters switched. I don't understand the fuss, and I wouldn't have noticed that if that hadn't come up. It's a gorgeous palette. It's Lorella quality. It's got beautiful pigmentation. I have used it quite a bit actually in recent days. I do love that a lot of these colors are very true to the pan. So they're gorgeous. It's gorgeous. That's that purple coming out of that pan. It is very hard to get a color, a purple, to match the pan when you take it out, whether you're swatching it or putting it on your eyes. I've very rarely had purples that have worked in that regard. Usually they end up much lighter. This purple does beautifully. You do have to build up a little bit, but that's fine, because with these darker colors, you kind of want that ability to build up. I'm going to take 2 of these yellows, I think. And I want that green. And okay, I'm going to grab this red down here. I don't think I grabbed an orange, but that's all right. You guys will see. So, Look at that. I think we have discussed in the past how yellows is one of my test colors. Look at that. And it would be something we discussed like way past. Let me grab an orange. Let me grab this matte orange. Now these mattes do not feel super soft, unlike the Perception mattes. But quite obviously, that's not a problem. They do come up on your eyes fairly close to this. Like I said, you can put them on lightly and build them up the way you want them to. So you're not necessarily going to end up, you know, throwing this well, the pink will throwing this purple on your eye and it actually coming up that dark initially. You can build it up. You can put it on in such a way that it's much lighter, like I did here. You can see where it's lighter here and then it darkens up out here. But yes, it's become one of my favorite purples. Not much staying power, but again, it seems to work. I've taken these out and gone grocery shopping and come back and my eyes are still in place. So whatever's going on with not staying on here, it works fairly well when I go out. Very pleased with it. It's one of the ones that I seem to gravitate to the most right now. So that's all the palettes I'm playing with. I've got quite a few other things as well. I'll move these all out of the way. Starting with, I'm just starting to play with the Lush Life palette I got in a set, and it had the palette and it had 3 of their gel liners. And I wanted to try their gel liners again. I remember trying their gel liners 2 years ago and not liking them. They were as hard as a regular liner to me. And to me, a gel liner needs to be soft. This had 3 of them. The lightest green doesn't show up on my skin very well, so I gave it to my daughter. It has a nice shimmer to it. But these 2, the gold doesn't quite show up the way I'd like it to, but it is a gold, so I'm keeping it and hanging and playing around with it. But these 2 are nice. And it's soft, and I have used them around my eyes. I haven't used this one yet. But I have used them around my eyes. And there's something I would use again. They're nice and soft. They're no longer, they changed the formula of their gel liners, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Playing around with those. I've had the Melt gel liners for a long time. You saw me unbox them. I've been playing with them. They have become my absolute favorite. I'm wearing this one today. They have become my absolute favorite liner. Second would be the Chaotic Cosmetics liners, water liners. I have this one on the top of my lid. Also enjoy these. These are have beautiful pigmentation. The only difference is these will stick because you're not using water for them, and these are very easy to wash off. So with my eyes, I sometimes have issues with these, but I'm really enjoying this purple. It's a beautiful purple. So, and these all stay. That blue, this black, and then I just got this green. They just got, this is Fortune. They just got this back in stock, and I play with that a lot. I keep these in my drawer for my eye things that I use, you know, along with my brow gel and my liquid liners. I keep these in my little drawer. You guys see me fill that when I do my shop my stash. All right, so also around the eyes, I have been enjoying the Essence Volume Booster Lash Primer. I really like this. I have at least one backup of this. And so I decided to try some of their other lash stuff, and I've been playing around with the Lash Princess. I actually really like this. It doesn't volumize much, but it does lengthen beautifully, and I can mix it with a volumizer like, you know, Tarte Big Ego, the Styla Huge Extreme. It mixes well with others. So I really enjoyed playing around with this. The other reason I keep reaching for it is it's because it's such a big one. You want to keep using it. Some of these others I need to get started on using and using up. So, but this one I've been using the most because it's a large one. However, I will feel less guilty if I end up throwing away some of this one because it's like $4. You know, the other ones I like are anywhere from, well, the Perversion one, the little mini Perversion used to be 10. I think it's gone up. And I believe the Uoma one that I enjoy is 14 for a mini. So 14. I throw a little bit of this out from not using it up. Not going to be pissed because it's actually not that expensive. In the lip category, I do believe that this was one of the things that didn't make it. I'm not sure. But I did pick up a couple of Vive Cosmetics. I am wearing the lipstick. They both go on nice and smooth. The red in the lipstick is just a bit more orange than I... tends towards a bit more orange, so I put some other color over it. I do find them both nice and creamy, easy to apply, pigmented. However, I'm not sure... They're not game-changing for me. They don't necessarily get uncomfortable. The liquid lipstick down here does not necessarily get uncomfortable, but it is not as comfortable as my makeup preview lipsticks. So they're not really groundbreaking, but they are beautiful colors. They are a indie and person of color owned brand. So yeah, I enjoy it. I don't know if I'd buy more from them. They're a bit on the pricey side for me to buy continuously, especially considering how much lipstick I have. We'll have to see if I ever start running out. Probably not. But I do enjoy them. I do recommend them if you want to give them a try. They're not bad. They're just not, like I said, they're just not groundbreaking in any way for me. They're very beautiful colors. Just wait for a sale. Like I said, for me, they're a little pricey for a lipstick. They're not $30, the way some of them, who is it that had, I saw one recently and I was like, I'm not spending $35 on a freaking lipstick. What the hell are you talking about? I can't remember what company it was either. But I just like, no, no, that's not happening. Anyway, so the last three things, two are face palettes and one is just a highlighter. So I'll just do the highlighter. This is a Dolce Diva baked highlighter from Kiko Milano. And I saw this and I went, I want one. I want one. And my daughter ordered one for me and one for her. And hers, one of them came shattered. So since I was the one who really wanted it, she gave me the one that wasn't shattered. I have been wearing this a lot lately. I'm not wearing it today, but I've been wearing it a lot lately. I've been really enjoying it. The last two things came from an Ipsy second chance add-ons or something, and I had to contact them and say, hey, where's my shit? This has been sitting there for like 3 weeks. Where's my shit? Get me my shit, please. Anyway, I got somebody on Twitter. If you're having issues reaching their customer service, go through Twitter, honestly. I sent in an email and got literally no response, so I went through Twitter. Anyway, so these are the Complex Culture, their face palettes. This first one has a bronzer and a blush, and I'm wearing the blush. Now you can see the blush and go, wow, that's really pink. But I think it's a beautiful, it's almost like a glow. It's like there's, yeah, you can see there's kind of a blush there. But for some reason, this particular pink is not coming up like, oh, wow, she's wearing pink. So, but when you see it, you'll go, that's a little pink. So this is this one. And they are soft and pigmented and pretty, and I'm really enjoying them. See, that's why that bronzer works for me. It blends in there, and yet I can build that up, and there's the pink. Like I said, you're going to say, that's really pink, but it doesn't come across that way. And I love it. I love the color. I love kind of the glow. See, from here down. From here to here. That's blush. Right into this area is my blush. And I just think it just gave a nice, warm glow. It doesn't look really pink. The second one, this is called the Overtime Contour and Blush Duo. Now, I will say I would not pay for these full price. I got them because they were on the second chance add-ons and they were on sale. So, otherwise I wouldn't have. And you get a brush. I got a brush with that set, but this is the same brush I have for my powder. Love it. I'm using this one for the blush, and it gives it a beautiful, anyway. The second one that I have is the Good Lighting Highlighter Duo, and this says, looks cream to powder soft focus highlighter. I didn't notice that it was really cream when I've used it. I have used, you can see where I've dug in here, I have used this one on my lid. I used it on my lid yesterday. If you go into my Instagram, I will, you will see my grocery look, and this is what's on my lid. And then I used this one on my face yesterday. This one's on my face today, and it's beautiful. It's a gorgeous glow. These are nice and soft. They do not feel like cream at all. Look at that. They're beautiful. Now, quite obviously, you can't go much darker than me for the blush and contour, but this would be beautiful on almost anybody's skin. I can't imagine it would be horrible on someone's skin. It's absolutely gorgeous. As you can see, the gel liners are still sticking, and so are the lipsticks, pretty much. Got a stain here, and that's staying. So, anyway, I have been using the Complex Culture stuff. Holy cow. Anyway, I've been using the Complex Culture stuff for the last few days because I just got it, like, I don't know, a week ago or so, and I was very wound up in getting the computer fixed and doing some other things. Must have come in last week because I've also filmed since then, and I don't recall using those then. So that is everything that I am playing around with right now. I have to say, for the most part, I'm very happy with most of it. It's the pigmentation's been nice. I've liked the looks I've come up with, the highlighters. I'm very, very pleased. It's really hard to screw up a highlighter, but I have seen it. I have seen it, unfortunately. But I would recommend any of these. Like I said, for a couple of them, like the Prince palette or the Complex Culture duos, I would try to find them on sale. The Complex Culture duos are just a little expensive, I think, for what they are. They're good quality, but you can find good quality like that at a lower price, so I would wait for them to be on sale. The Prince palette it's pigmented, but it's not as pigmented as I would like. Still, it's a good palette. Again, though, I would get it on sale just because of that pigmentation issue. Urban Decay has the mighty has fallen, unfortunately. Anyway, so that's, like I said, that's everything I've been playing with recently. You'll see some of them in my Shop My Stash at the end of the month when I switch things out, and one or two of them will probably stay. I don't know if I'm ever going to get the Prideful palette off. I am so enjoying the colors on that. I really am. It's beautiful and bright, and I know a lot of people have problems with those beautiful and bright colors, but the quality is good. I recommend checking them out for other palettes, even if that one doesn't tickle your fancy. Their quality is pretty decent, so I would recommend them for, you know, other things. I've also been playing with the Maracuja Tinted Hydrator. I mixed it today with one of my Uomas, and it looks really nice. So it's another one I'm doing that to try to lighten up things for the summer, because summer down here is gets hot and humid anyway, and this year it looks like it might, as we head into August, it's going to get outrageous. Right now we're fighting storms, so the temps keep coming down. The humidity keeps going up, but the actual temperature itself is down. Anyway, so that is it for the day, and I hope you like what you've seen, and if you do like what you've seen, I hope you will subscribe if you haven't yet. When you subscribe, please hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Currently upload 2 days a week. That would be Monday and Thursday. That may be changing. Just giving a warning, just putting it out there that may be changing. Also, we do have bonus videos. Currently, we're only doing 3. And generally we're only doing 2. Those 2 would be my son's Geek Fuel. We get one of those every month. We're going to have 2 this month, I think, because we had opened his Geek Fuel from June earlier this month, and his July one has shipped and should be in before the end of the month. So you'll probably get 2 this month for that, which is just fine. And we also are doing my garden videos. Those will go on through to late September, mid-October, somewhere in there. Once the leaves start falling off of things and we're not getting much fruit, we'll probably start winding down on those. It's really going to depend because the garden is being very strange right now. I have plants that are not nearly tall enough blooming. I mean, they're like supposed to be like yay tall. When I'm standing up, they're supposed to be like yay tall, and they're not even up to my knee and they're blooming. I don't know what's going on. I'm looking at, I don't know what's going on. They all got planted like at least 2 to 4 weeks late. The only ones that's really struggling right now are the peppers. At any rate, that's going on. So those go up as well. We try to keep that down to at most 2 a month. As we get more towards harvest and we start seeing more of the fruit coming in and we're picking up more fruit, you'll probably see a few more in the month, probably 3. I can't see me doing 1 a week, but it's possible. I get so proud of my garden. I love it. Also, if you send anything, that would also be a bonus video. That doesn't happen very often either. As you know, we are no longer opening indie brands, so that's what this is kind of hopefully replacing in the future as a regular part of things, just probably not monthly. At any rate, if you want to see any of those, any of them at all, you do need to have that bell clicked so that you will get a notification up in the upper corner of your Facebook, of your YouTube page. Is Facebook taking over YouTube too now? God, wouldn't be surprised. Would be terrible, but wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, they're taking over everything else. Instagram, God knows. At any rate, I'm going to move along. I know, I'm babbling. I do that. I'm sorry. Mostly. If you're part of my notification squad, please check both your bell and your subscription to make sure they're both still active. I'm hearing reports on other channels that people are just being unsubscribed for no reason. So you may want to do that to make sure that your subscription is still active and do all the things. And if you choose not to subscribe, well, I'd be sad and disappointed, but you're always welcome back here because we love having the company. And when you do come back again, don't forget your cup of tea. It's so cute, with the little cheeks. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and give this a sip. While I sip, why don't you do what Emily D. Baker calls the YouTube-y things, like, subscribe, all of that stuff. Let's give her a sip and see how she goes. Okay, so the sweetness has toned down as the Tulsi and Chamomile have kicked in. I'm not getting distinct flavors, but the blend is really, really nice. This is definitely one, I would cut down my sugar just a little bit, but it's definitely one I wouldn't mind having again. It is a really nice, mild tea. It's a beautiful tea. Anyway, so that's it. Hope you have a good one.